When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat. Well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show.
O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Andy, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From Sunrise, it's alive, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Breaking them on in, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sport talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call them and let them know.
Culture, Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Gary. Yeah.
Good morning. All righty, welcome aboard. It is time to rock and roll on the show. Hope you all are feeling well on a little hump day action there. We got today no guest, but it's a loaded show, man. There are so many things to talk about. I mean, and a lot of juicy stuff to talk about. Some Dolphin stuff, some Tua stuff that I want to talk about. I know that we don't have the season yet started, although we do have our training camp dates, and on the 31st of this month will be the first of 14 open practices for Dolphin fans out there. So I've got some Dolphin stuff that I want to get to. Obviously, the NBA. There's a lot of stuff on the court. There's a lot of stuff off the court that we're going to talk about, too, on the show. Marlins get a win. Patriots are in the news. Tampa Bay is in the news. What else do we have going on? University of Miami talk that we got going on. There's a bunch of things that I want to talk about today on the show, man. So many different things. A little hockey, a little music too. I got some notes on music, also some some interesting stuff. So, I mean, we are absolutely freaking loaded today on the show. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about. And of course, all of you out there ready to go. NorCal, by the way, I got your gifts. Thank you. I mean, every day I'm getting a gift, right? What's it called? My man GP gave me the Batman yesterday, and we added it to the collection. The Rockin' Batman. I told you we'd eliminate the bottom part of the stuff, so you're able to see it. Which now you're able to see it, right? Because we got that the big two logos in the bottom. We eliminated those, so that way we are allowed. And then today, NorCal sent me a couple of shirts. I wore one of them today. Here you go, NorCal. So the NorCal Dolphin Club. And NorCal, you are permanently in the house. You see, look right there next to the logo. You see right there, there's one sticker, and there's the other sticker right there, NorCal. So both your stickers are permanently there on the wall. So you've got that going on. Thank you, NorCal, sending me the shirts and the sticker. That is very, very kind of you. And by the way, the material of this shirt is that cool ass, like really comfortable material. I don't know what the hell it is, but I love the material on this shirt. It is freaking awesome. So thank you so much, NorCal, for the shirt. I am proudly wearing it, of course. And man, it is comfortable. It's like you want like 30 of these. So you can wear one of these every single day. Although then that would, then I wouldn't be able to wear my concert shirts, which I kept psyching myself out. I thought Disturbed was today, and it was actually postponed, and I didn't realize. So my tickets will be for later. So anyway, we'll just the world is so crazy that I didn't even realize that it was postponed. And I thought today, it was Disturbed and Stained and all that, and it's not actually. It's been postponed. I didn't realize it. But anyway, thank you all out there. As always, you guys are always spoiling us. We appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Amazing. Got a bunch of folks already on the downloads. I'm sure our girl Lisa, she's probably somewhere already on the board, I would imagine, right? She's somewhere there. So Lisa, if you're there, you are. I see a Celebration Wednesday. She says, yeah, Suns. So 1 down, 3 to go. As LeBron tweeted out yesterday, I sent Lisa that yesterday on DM on Twitter. I said, well, you got 1 down, 3 to go. And the Suns looked good yesterday. They pulled away from the Bucks 118 to 105. And listen, when we talk about this story with the Suns, the one thing that I do want to say, and I got to give the Suns a ton of credit here in the process, because obviously they got it done. They look really good. CP3 looks like a man possessed now. But I got to give Giannis a lot of credit, because the way that knee got hyperextended, you didn't really think you were even going to see him, if anything, in this series, maybe at the end of the series for a game. But obviously, Milwaukee has no shot if he doesn't play. And he played. He was a monster yesterday. 20 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 35 minutes. Tough. I got to admire it. I mean, I that's the one thing that I walked away from that game. Yeah, of course, the Suns were awesome. CP3 was, phenomenal, dude. Ayton played well. Booker played well. The team played well. Everything goes credit to the Suns. But, man, I got to give Giannis a lot of credit. I mean, a ton of credit for his toughness and the character that he showed throughout that game last night and played all throughout. And listen, maybe his knee is going to be flaring up today after 35 minutes and it's going to be sore, or maybe not. But either way, look, whether his knee is 100% or not, which we know it's not 100%. We know he's not 100%, and yet he did what he did yesterday. He's not going to be a great shooter. Maybe he'll never be a great shooter. He certainly isn't going to be a great shooter this year or in this series. It's, he is what he is, unfortunately, and that's kind of hurt the team. And in a way, I think it shows, it focuses in a little bit on what Milwaukee's going to have to do in the future to try to win a title. And I'm already assuming that they're not winning this one, obviously. But part of it is Middleton. And Middleton's been that guy. It's kind of been a Middleton between a all-star and a really good player. You know what I mean? And this is kind of his opportunity to become a perennial all-star type player, a guy that's looked upon like a guy that could be in an all-NBA team or something like that. He's going to have to elevate his game to that extent. And so is Drew Holiday. He's going to have to elevate his game to that extent also. I mean, last night, Drew Holiday, this is funny because we get narratives, right? After every game, our narratives change. What are we talking about? What's affecting this series? How does one overcome? How does Milwaukee, what do they do in order to win in game 2 against the Suns and all that kind of stuff? And yesterday, you looked at Drew Holiday. He had 10 points. He was 4-14 shooting, 0 of 4 from three-point range. Did have 7 rebounds and 9 assists to his credit. But the narrative was, well, he needs to cover CP3 because CP3 yesterday was a man possessed. He scored 32 points. He had 9 assists, only 2 turnovers, and 4 rebounds in that game. Now, let me ask you something. If you're going to score 10 points and you didn't have the responsibility of covering CP3 the entire time, so now you're going to give him the entire responsibility of covering CP3 because that's where – so how much is that going to hurt you offensively? That you've got to then now try to shut down CP3. And who knows, that may get you into foul trouble. And if you're not having success and it gets to you mentally, is it going to affect you, also when it comes to – having to score? Because if you only scored 10 points in a game that you weren't given that responsibility, now you're going to carry that responsibility and you're expected to score a lot more. That's kind of strange. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Look, right now, I just think the Suns are the better team right now. They're complementary players, guys like Cameron Payne and company and Crawford and all these kind of guys. Crowder, I'm sorry, not Crawford. It's just a better team that the pieces are better right now. They're more consistent offensively too. They're more complementary also. It's almost like they really feed off of the main 3 guys. And if the main 3 guys they don't have the engine going, the other guys just kind of fall by the wayside. They don't have enough of those. And let me tell you, the kid that got injured for them, now I'm brain farting, but that was a hell of a loss for them. They needed him because he could help out in the perimeter a little bit, not just defensively, but also shooting wise. And that's been a real negative for the Milwaukee Bucks. They really needed that kid. And unfortunately, he's out for the season with that knee injury he suffered in the last series. And a couple series ago, DiVincenzo. No, actually, DiVincenzo, I think, it happened before the playoffs started, actually. It was right towards the end of the season when DiVincenzo ended up getting injured. And that was a huge loss for them because they kind of needed another wheel to help them out on the offensive end because Giannis is not a scorer. Okay? Yes, he can attack the rim and he can get you some points, but he's not a shooter. He's not going to be able to, he doesn't easily score. For him, it's got to be a mission. He's got to plow through the middle of the lane and find a way to score the basketball. That's kind of his thing. You know what I mean? So they don't have enough of those guys around him in order to get it done, And so that's the problem. You look at what the Suns have around their main guys, it just seems like that team is much better put together at this point in time. And I think overall, they're just playing better basketball. Really. I just think they're the better team. They're playing better basketball. And CP3 last night, man, he just broke it down. Now, you have to understand this. CP3 is that caged animal that doesn't get out a lot. And all of a sudden now you have unleashed him or he broke the leash and he's out in the wild and he's out. And CP3 is in the NBA Finals for the first time in his career with a legitimate shot to win it. He knows it. Nobody is more motivated to win that title than that guy right there. I know Giannis is motivated because he got back on the court after only a very short time and a hyperextended knee. It's an amazing feat just for him to get back. So I give him all the credit in the world, but he's kind of wired that way. But CP3, he's at the end of his career. He doesn't have much left in the tank. He may never get this opportunity again. And to Giannis's credit, that's probably why he hurried to get back from that hyperextended knee. It could be the whole Marino thing, right? Marino goes to the Super Bowl against San Francisco. Yeah, I'll be here again. I'll be here again. Never went back because you just don't know. This may be the one and only time that you go. You better take advantage of it. And CP3 knows that because he's had plenty of heartache, plenty of heartbreak. And so this is his opportunity to get that time. And he played like it yesterday. I mean, he was bobbing and weaving and faking people out and making shot after shot and working that whole paint, which he's so good around that area. And he was also nailing some threes too. You had a pretty deep one also in that game last night. CP3 was just outstanding. Booker had 27 points on a night where Booker shot 1 of 8 from three-point range. Okay? Let's make sure we mention that. Booker shot terrible from three-point range, and the team won 118 to 105. Ayton was awesome. 22 points, 19 rebounds. It was kind of funny towards the end that they were talking about that rebound that CP3 got at the end, and Haynes like, hey, man, he took away my 2020, because he had an opportunity at 20 points and 20 rebounds with the 22 points and the 19 rebounds. So he missed out on that final rebound. But you really got to like the way the Suns are playing right now. And I got to tell you, not just because Lisa is obviously a huge supporter of the show and we love her and all of that, but I'm rooting for the Suns. I'm happy for the fans. It's not so much about the teams and the players and CP3's plight and obviously a Hall of Fame player, a guy that deserves to have a title and all that kind of stuff. All that other stuff is all true, but those are other storylines that I don't really concern myself nearly as much as I do for the fans, because I always think about the fans because I can relate to them. I was a child when the Dolphins won Super Bowls. I haven't been able to experience it as an adult, and it's been a long time. Okay, we're approaching 50 years now when we're getting to that point of no championships, and I feel for Dolphins that haven't celebrated a championship in half a century, dude. And Suns fans, I feel for them. I know Milwaukee fans haven't celebrated a championship since the early 70s also, but I'm really rooting for those Suns fans because they've never had a championship in the NBA. And they've had those, it's been a while since they even been this respectable. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to watching the Suns Nation celebrate a championship. That's going to be a lot of fun, but a little early. It's 1-0. The craziest things can happen. Look at the Miami Heat last year. They looked pretty good, and then the injuries completely derailed the finals and kind of ruined it for them. So I'm not hoping for any kind of injuries whatsoever. But when I'm looking at last night and looking at everything going on, Middleton played 45 minutes. Shot 5 of 12 from three-point range. Giannis, 20. I started looking at everything going on, and I just think that the motivation from CP3 to win all of this is just a little bit too much, and I can just see them in the end winning this. Like I said, I think in 6, because I'm going to give Milwaukee some respect. I think they'll find a way to win a game or two here in this series. I don't think that it's going to be Suns in 4, like they like to say. It would, and you know what? I know Lisa would love Suns in 4, but as a basketball fan, there's been enough, bad news with basketball, with the injuries and all that stuff. Give us a good NBA Finals, man. We've had enough injuries. Let's watch the boys cruise a little bit and hopefully get, a decent finals from here on out. And we watch 6-7 games at least. I don't want to see a sweep. I don't want the season to end quickly, but we'll see how this whole thing develops. But nice job by the Suns, and congratulations to them. One hell of a win last night. All right, a little roll call. We always love doing a little roll call here on the show. See who's on the YouTube chat board. Let's see. NorCal says, wake up, Finslaw. It's time for the Big O show. Puff, puff, give. Steve Chapman is in. Omar Lopez says, what's up, everybody? John Santos saying it's the Big O show time. Thank you, John. A couple of brewskis, too. You're going to wait a little while for the brewski, right? Right? Just hang in there. No brewskis right now, John. Ian from Brooklyn is in. Troy Ortiz, Lisa Rose, Super V says, nice pictures in your intro. Thank you. Figured we do some stuff because we had the regular boring countdown, right? So we spiced it up a little bit and put some pictures with some of the celebrities that I've hung out with and met over the years. GP Trap is in, and he reminds everybody, as always, to hit the hell out of that like button, man. Smash that like button. It is so important that you hit that like button. And thank you all out there, whether you're podcasting, whether you're on YouTube, hitting the like button. Thank you so much. Ohio John is in. Matt Walker, he wants to remind Lisa not to celebrate. You need 3 more, which is true. It's true. She's got to have like a low tone happiness, because she's got to wait till, the winds pile up and she gets closer and closer, and then she can erupt like a volcano in celebration. Raging Dolphin Maniac is in. Eddie Lepp, Call of Duty 1. Daniel Marquez. Sean Campbell is in. John Rouse is in the house. Super V. NorCal says, love that. Love your show, Big O. I'm proud to see NorCal Club on your platform. NorCal Club is always on this platform, my friend. Always here for you. Always. And you're always here for us, and I appreciate you for that. John says, hey, can we have the field trip at Twin Peaks on Saturday or Sunday for training camp? I have 3 jobs Monday through Friday, and I come from Stewart. All right, we will try. That sounds like a plan. A Saturday sounds really good for a lot of people, I would imagine. I think that's a good idea either way, John. Andy's news show says, Big O, can you do the Big O Sports Channel? Get Alex Down, another host, to be on your channel on YouTube. I can, but it's that was part of why I'm looking for the right partner, so we can expand all of this and not just our show, but add other shows. At the moment, I have to start with our show because I've got to survive. You know what I mean? I've got a family, so I've got to survive. I got to do this. So yes, I would love to add several people to all of this, but if I don't get the right person, I am not. If I don't get the right people, it might be more than one person. But if I don't get the right people to help me out and partner with me, what I cannot do is what I did in my last 2 stops. And I got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it was incredibly stressful. And I got to say, I don't need the stress anymore. I want to do this, but I have to do it the right way. I'm not doing it where I'm going to kill myself. You know what I mean? So if I can do at least our show and get it going and do all the things that I normally do and cover the seasons and cover the drafts and travel and all that kind of stuff, which is what we were going to do last year, a year and a half ago, before the pandemic hit us. And we were set to go everywhere, travel all over the country for everything. And pandemic hit and set us all back and set everything back. So I know what I can do on this show, with your help, with your support, all of that. But in order to run an entire radio station, I've got to have the right people around us. I can put together the people to do it, but we need the business side of it to be taken care of. So if I can't get that done, then I can't team up with everybody, unfortunately. And listen, I'm not rich, and I don't have, I don't have 400 sponsors that I can, have everybody on board. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I would love to do it. Trust me, nothing breaks my heart more than what happened with Onside. Nobody is more disappointed than I am, but I don't want to go through that disappointment again. I don't want to put my heart and soul into something and then others aren't meeting us halfway and aren't doing the things that we have to do in order to be successful. And so that's at all levels. and I can't do it again. I have to watch out for my health. Somehow or another, I gotta be a little smarter than that. So, in the end, I would love to expand this right here, what we have, and add more shows after me, before me, whatever. I would love to do that. But again, I need the right business partners. So if you guys know the right business partners, then bring them forward. I would love to team up. This town needs an all sports station. There's none. Okay. The stuff that's left is garbage. Not the people that are on. Hawk and Crowder are fine, and Joe Rose excellent, and Zaz and was it Leroy and these guys in the morning. They do an excellent job. But that's all it's left. There's only a couple shows left. There's not a real sports station in town. So we need one. I can build one, but we need the right business people teaming up with us, and then we'll get it done. Let's see what else. Rosendo is in. Mike Jamorzek is in. To Extreme says, I'd be happy with whichever team wins the finals. Both teams are well deserving of a championship, and both fan bases too. Let's see. Mike says, I'm rooting for the Bucks and my personal friend Mamadi Diakite to win a championship. Okay. Tremolio says, I like to bite and chew. All right. Good information. Miguel Garcia is in. Tommy and Hialeah. CP3 been doing a hell of a job helping to lift this team to where it's at. Giannis showed he's getting that heart we questioned. I think Giannis has the heart. It's just he doesn't have the skill that extra skill that you need, the shooting skill. And that's where he's limited. That's it. You know what I mean? And that's what hurts him at times. But I don't think it's a lack of heart, man. You come back from that knee the way he did. I don't think it's heart. I just think it's a limitation. He's got a skill set that he needs badly in today's NBA. In the 90s, Giannis is fine, right? In the 90s, he's fantastic. In those 80, 90 games, 88, 92, 97, 91, 88, 79, Giannis would have been awesome in those kind of series and those kind of NBAs in the 90s. But now it's a different league. It just is. Daniel Marquez is in. He's in Plantation. Devin Jordan is in. Devin, thank you for the super chat yesterday. Trey Matter is in. Vicken is in. New York City Sports. Big O, forgot the stress and come back to Mad Dog Radio. Put in a call for Mad Dog. So we will see if we do anything in Mad Dog. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Vicken says, but I'm from Canada. All right. Herman says, Big O, you're the best. Thank you. Very nice. I'm rooting for the Suns. I'm from Team Petty after the Bucks swept the Heat. That's what Devin says. That is fantastic. You guys are absolutely awesome. Remember, you can send in on email. You can reach out to us, and you can send in your Cash App there. You can also send us an email if you got a question, a comment, an insult. You want to send me an article, whatever. BigORadioshow@yahoo.com is the email. BigORadioshow.com at BigORadioshow@yahoo.com. And Sean Campbell sends it in strong, dude. Super strong. I appreciate you, man, with a Cash App. Thank you, Sean. That is absolutely amazing, Sean. Thank you, sir. That is a strong Cash App, sir. Appreciate you, man. That is very, very nice. James Gonzalez on Yahoo, on BigORadioshow@yahoo.com says, good morning from Santiago, Dominican Republic. Maria Taylor is the present and future. Rachel Nichols is the present and the past. Both have done great work in their times, but Rachel effed up. Yep. She effed up in a big time way. Yes, I am with you all the way. And again, Sean Campbell, thank you, sir, for the Cash App. That is amazing there. Thank you, sir. Weapon X United chimes in with a super chat. Thank you, Weapon X United. Appreciate you, man. Very nice. Sending us the super chat. That is awesome. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Weapon X United. Very cool. Let's see what else. Should the Heat keep UD back on the active roster? Danielle, until they have 15 guys that are better, and yeah, doesn't hurt to have the cop. Doesn't hurt to have the motivator. Now, I'll tell you this, and I'm going to say something that's a little blasphemous right now. When UD's talking to them and throws the chair and all that, none of that's all show, dude. I mean, maybe UD thought he meant something with it and he was accomplishing something, but I think those players weren't going to respond to any of that anyways. It's we're way past the point of play already for him. He hasn't played in years. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think it carries the same. But it's good to have for leadership, for kind of the guy that helps keep people in check and that kind of stuff. The day you're at a point where you have 15 guys and you've got to keep those 15 because number 13, 14, and 15 are really important to the development of your team in the future, then you got to let him go and have him join the coaching staff at that point. But if not, I don't mind UD being the 15th guy. And Weapon X United, by the way, put awesome job again, Big O. We love you up here in Atlanta. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hopefully we'll hook up one day when I go up to Atlanta again. I can meet some of you out there. And thank you for using the Cash App. That is very good. We're trying to sway you to use Cash App instead of the Super Chat because YouTube keeps 30%, whereas Cash App, everything goes to the show. So that's the difference there. So I appreciate all of you out there. Either way, if you do use the Super Chat, I'm blessed. But we're trying to get you to go to Cash App instead because it's actually better for the show. No reason to give them 30%. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I appreciate it. Thank you all out there as always. Talking a little NBA now. Let's get to some of the juicy stuff going on in the NBA. So towards the end of the show yesterday, we were talking about how they ended up booting Rachel Nichols, and they took her off the jump. They took her off the sidelines, and they put Malika Andrews in there. And then they also eliminated the show on Tuesday, The Jump. Now, it's scheduled to air today, and I'm on the air right now, so I'm not sure if anything has changed so far, if they're still going to air The Jump or that's also been postponed again. I mean, I know where we're headed already. I already told you this. You can already tell. But there's all kinds of stuff going on from all of this that we've got to talk about, and there's different things that we've got to mention. First of all, Amin El-Hassan. Amin El-Hassan had a lot to say because in the midst of all this stuff going on, Woj came out and said Rachel was not a team player, right? And so Amin heard that, and on Dan Le Batard's show, he was on with Jamel Hill, and he ripped into Woj in all of this. And let me explain after you hear what Amin had to say about Woj, because Woj was slamming Rachel, calling her a bad team player.
There's another element to this, by the way, which is the Game of Thrones of ESPN, particularly on the NBA side. The power struggle. The moment I cackled, ladies and gentlemen, I cackled out loud reading this article was the quote that Adrian Wojnarowski called someone else a bad teammate. Are you, can I cuss? I don't know.
I mean, you've already done that.
Are you fucking shitting me? This guy's going to call someone a bad teammate? For real? For real? Do we want to talk about the black careers that he put a foot on because he was threatened by? Do we want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about the newsbreakers with an S of diverse backgrounds who have rapport with players that Adrian doesn't have, that he saw as threatening because his sources are all front office people and assistant coaches trying to move up and maybe a video coordinator who's trying to get a better job somewhere else. but he can't talk to LeBron. And he can't talk to Chris Paul or Damian Lillard or some of these other guys. He doesn't have that rapport with them. So what he does is he steps on them. And he's stepping on, and beyond that particular angle, he steps on a lot of people over there. Right? When you see a byline that says, as reported by Adrian Wojnarowski and fill in the blank, the part where someone pipes in, you're a bad teammate. You're being a bad teammate. Really? Really? Come on, man. Give me a break. Particularly when it comes to the element of race in this. If we're going to inject that race in there, give me a break.
So you got to remember now, this thing, it's kind of like an atomic bomb. It explodes, and then the plume comes up, and it mushrooms. You know what I'm talking about, right? When there's an explosion. And this is what happens when Rachel says the comments that she says, because it starts to now divide the room, divide the network, and it starts to create problems. Woj is in basketball. Woj just called Rachel bad teammate. So how's that going to sit for the rest of their careers together at ESPN? Not good. We played for you Jalen Rose's daughter yesterday ripping into Rachel Nichols. I'm not sure how many of you heard it, but Mariah Rose ripped into Rachel Nichols.
Let's quickly talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right? You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement, about your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage. And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Subpar. Boring. Not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time. Maybe next time.
So this is Jalen Rose's daughter. So how's the Jalen Rose, Rachel Nichols relationship going to work from here on out? You know, the commissioner yesterday was all in their business too, talking about what was going on with ESPN and how sad he was to see this issue and how it's being handled and all those kind of things. I'll read a quote for you from Adam Silver. It's particularly unfortunate that two women in the industry are pitted against each other. Both Rachel and Maria are terrific in what they do. They work extraordinarily hard. I wish, here we go. Here we go. I would have thought that in the past year, maybe through some incredibly difficult conversations, that ESPN would have found a way to be able to work through it. Obviously not, Silver said. I should also say, too, that these are issues not unique to ESPN. As I said, the league is working on its own issues in terms of doing a better job with diversity. It's not just in sports, but in companies around America. There's a reckoning going on. A part of it is because one person chose to say that the other person was only getting the job because they're black. And so that's what creates the divide now. I mean, there was one person on ESPN on the jump that tweeted out in defense of Rachel and then took it down. So really, in the end, I know what this is going to end. It's going to create so many problems that they're going to have to let her go. Because how does she work in that building now? How does she work with NBA players? You know, last time I checked, most of them are black. That might be an issue. And if you're a black athlete, you're like looking at her with a fisheye, like, nah, I don't want to do anything with her. And let me tell you something. You know what's the strangest thing out of all of this that's developed? I mean, the strangest thing that's developed from all of this is that the person that actually made the most sense out of everybody out there is somebody that does not play basketball, somebody that doesn't work at ESPN, somebody that isn't a former NBA player, not a current NBA coach, not a former NBA coach, not a current player, not a former player, not a current analyst, not a former analyst, not tied to anything on ESPN, not tied to anything in the NBA. You know that? The person that brought one of the, I mean, logic and just common sense to all of this was Dez Bryant. Yeah, I said it. Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant over the years has done some stuff that, I would question at times. But when people are right, you got to give them love. You got to give them respect. When they actually say something good, support them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dez Bryant, when he retired, whatever it was, his 8th, 9th year, whatever, and he came out and said, well, I got to start working on my route running. See, those are the things that I laugh at and pick on Dez Bryant. Like, dude, you should have been talking about your route running when you were in college coming out to the NFL. That's when you're working on your route running. First, second, third year, working on your route running. Not after you've been cut 8, 9 years into your career. Like, oh, I think I better become a better route runner. But what do you think? You can ad lib on every team? No. It's one of the reasons why Chad Johnson struggled, because he ad libbed a lot while he was in Cincinnati. Dez Bryant ad libbed a lot. And then when they have to go to other places, there's actual discipline to what you have to do. There's timing and all that kind of stuff. So Dez has done some things at times that, whatever. But when it came to this, he was magical. Listen to this. This was his IG. This was an opportunity for you as a person, talking about Rachel, who so clearly stated, how the black community has been treated, to come beside another woman who is just as qualified as you are, but has not been given the same opportunities as you based on the color of her skin, and support her in the time and opportunity. The comments you made are the problem. The comments you made are aiding and abetting the problem. You solidified what we already know about this industry and many industries. We need more people in power positions like you who realize the problem, to stand by the side and help change the landscape that has been laid out and dealt to minorities in different professions and across the country. Rachel Nichols, I'm a real fan of you, but you missed the mark on this one. We all need to get comfortable looking outside of ourselves, including myself, to see real change. He goes, my perspective from the audio I heard. I saw it and I was like, Dez Bryant, bro. Dez Bryant. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And that's where we've been talking about for the last couple of days. This is where she can't avoid this. This is a terrible look for her. And it's only going to end one way. You know who knows how it's going to end? Jemele Hill.
What becomes of her career at ESPN? Because I have seen them in the past when people get into controversial situations, they may not outwardly punish them, whereas there may not be a suspension. There may not be, something that happens that's visible, but slowly they diminish them to the point where they just don't want to be there anymore.
Have you seen that?
Really?
I've kind of seen that happen. I mean, I'm sure no one on this stream has any knowledge of that whatsoever.
Wait a minute. So what happens? So you lose part of your show and you end up on ESPN Plus. Like, what hypotheticals are it that you speak of
just
here?
saying, just throwing it. I mean, it's called the
so
death
you
by
have a
1,000 paper cut
situation where you
strategy.
go see the president of the company in New York and then the show starts shrinking. Really?
Take an hour off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just thinking, not that you guys would know anything about that. Yeah, but it happens at ESPN.
And that's probably what will happen. They will shrink her responsibilities to the point that then they end up pushing you out. And obviously, Levy, this was all on Dan Le Batard's show when Amin and what's it called? Rachel. I'm sorry, not Rachel. Damn it! Now I'm Jemele Hill. They were all on there and they were talking about it. And obviously Dan knows because his show, which is incredibly successful, somehow or another was minimized, and then, out, in which these are the things that our business is the worst. I would never tell any of you, don't tell your kids ever to get into broadcasting. Don't ever to tell them to get into media. It is really just a terrible, terrible business. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be successful. You don't have to be successful, whatever it is. There's so much politics and just bullshit going on that good people will be moved. Good people will be fired. Talented people will be, taken out. And it's just things that you never understand. Hardworking people taken out, whatever. And then the people that are lazy or the people that don't do the job or the people that are just fluff or whatever, they'll keep those around. It's just a twisted ass business. You know what I mean? So this is where we're going. And I mean, listen, there's a part of me that says I kind of feel bad for Rachel right now. Because listen, I don't know if she's really a hateful person. Maybe she is. I don't know her, man. But the words came out terrible on her part. And right now, I would imagine she's having a really bad time dealing with the periphery now and all the negativity that's flying over and what the divide that she's created now for herself. That's why I think they're going to have a problem keeping her around and justifying keeping her around, because they're going to say it's just we have too many people that don't trust her, don't want to work with her. She's a PR nightmare now. Now we have people that are going to be, complaining about this all the time, writing about this all the time, posting it on social media, all of those things. And I don't know any other way you handle this thing. You can't just put her on the air and forget about it, because it's not just going to go away. And especially when the negotiations are going on right now with Maria Taylor. And I think you just saw the future. Malika Andrews handling all the live stuff, right? And then you've got Maria Taylor being the studio one. And then she'll do, obviously, the NBA Finals and all that. And I'm sure they'll have another show. It may not be called The Jump. It might be called something else. And she might be the host when it's all said and done. Or they go and get somebody fresh, a new face to add to the mix. Something along those lines. But what I don't expect is that Rachel Nichols will be there on a long-term basis. That I do not expect. All right. What else do we have going on here on the show? Remember, you can reach out to us on email at bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. That's bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. You can send in your questions, your comments, your insults there on the YouTube chat board. Of course, you want to support us at Cash App. You can do that. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. That's the way you can support us there. And you can follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. That's the other way that you do it. Let's see. New York Sports says Maria Taylor is up for a contract. This is perfect timing. Oh, yeah. She's going to get more than what she wanted now, because they're going to give in to all this heat that's going on. I am having a hard time deciding whether it's a racial issue or ambitious reporter jealous of an assignment. Yeah. Raging, you're right. That's why I keep saying I don't know her. I don't know if she's a hateful person or just being vindictive and being protective of her territory, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is when your comment throws in the color and you throw it in like, well, she's getting the job because ESPN needed to fill two boxes, a woman and a black woman. Okay. And that's the only reason she's getting it in my territory. And that's where it came off. Like, okay, she's not talented enough, which is a bunch of bullshit. Because if you watch Maria Taylor, she's an ass kicker, dude. She can do the damn job and do it very well. As good as Rachel or even better than Rachel. She's good, man. Got to give people credit when they deserve the damn credit. And Maria Taylor deserves the credit. Devin Jordan says, Big O, I heard the whole industry is cutthroat. It is. It is. It is. Except for newspapers that they cut you completely out, period. They cut everybody out in newspapers. There's no cutthroat there. There's just very few people left. And radio's heading in that direction too. For those with children, please look into what your teachers are teaching. It's a lot of hate and communism, Marxism. That's what Tremolio says. As a black man, surprisingly, I actually agree with you. Rachel doesn't come off as a racist, but she was wrong. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know, but it's a bad look. Andres Orozco says, what's up, O Nation, late to the party. Happy hump day. Now, nobody's ever late to the party. You can join us at 1 a.m. It's a podcast. You can join anytime you want. And whenever you're listening on the podcast or on YouTube, make sure you smash the like button. That is the most important thing you'll do throughout the day is smash that like button on the podcast or on YouTube. Very, very, very important. And subscribe. Subscribing is also very important. And thank you for the downloads. The numbers yesterday were the best since we started on, what is it, almost 2 weeks ago, I think. We've been doing it. What she said came out of her mouth too nonchalant to believe that she didn't meant what she said. The same way Myers Leonard found himself out of the league. I can't argue with too extreme on that. That's the perception you get when you hear the words. Did Jimmy and band commercial? Huh? I don't know what that means, Danielle. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on Le Programme? What else do we have that we wanted to talk about here on the show? I am going to get to a little Tua talk at the top of the hour. I got some Tua sound that I want to share with you, and we'll have a little fun with it because Tua was fantastic. And there's a little twist to some of the stuff that Tua talked about that I want to get into also on the show. Marlins, by the way, outlasted the Dodgers last night, 2-1 in 10 innings. Nice job by them. Throwing error helps, whatever. I don't care. 2-0 against the Dodgers. They got a chance at winning the series tonight because, remember, it's a 4-game set. So if they win tonight, they win the series. They're 3-2, I believe. I think Jordan McPherson tweeted out that the Marlins are 3-2 against the Dodgers this year already. 2 more games left. Pablo Lopez, 4 hits in 4 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks in 4 innings for Pablo, 2.94 ERA. It was nice for Yimi to get back in there. He did give up 2 hits, no Ks in the process, but didn't give up a run in that inning, so that was nice. Tonight, they got a 7 p.m. first pitch at Lone Depot Park between the Dodgers and the Marlins. Let's hope the boys can pick up another victory. It definitely would be nice if they can get a victory. Cameron Kinley. Well, let's talk a little bit about Cameron Kinley because this one, and I want to talk about it because not that it's a major player or anything like that, but it's an interesting topic in the NFL and in life. And Cameron Kinley is the kid that is part of the armed forces. And so he obviously has to serve the rest of his term with the Navy, but he obviously put in a request to see if he could actually defer or delay his commission to the U.S. Navy, and the Navy did grant it. Now, I got to tell you something here. And so Cameron Kinley, the rookie cornerback, will get to play with the Tampa Bay Bucks this year. That's the team that selected him. And first of all, I give the Navy credit for this. But on the flip side, I'm also going to say there was no other decision to be made. If the Navy made him go back and finish his service and lose out on this opportunity, shame on them. They would be major assholes in doing this because part of life, listen, if you're a parent, you never want to shatter your kids' dreams. You never want to shatter your husband, your wife's dreams. You never want to shatter your brother, your sister, your father, or your uncle. We all have dreams. We all want to do things. We want to accomplish things in life. And it's, unless it's something crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm going to build a plane that'll fly me to Pluto. It's something stupid. I get that. But here's a young man that has an opportunity of a lifetime to play in the NFL. Anyone can go to the Navy. Anyone can apply. I mean, unless you have some physical issues or mental issues or something that can't allow you to do it. But as long as you're physically able and mentally able to go to the armed forces, anybody can sign up and go to the armed forces. Not anybody can go to the NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. And last time I checked, is there a war going on? No. It's not Vietnam. It's not World War I. It's not World War II. It's not Korea. It's not anything, okay? It's not Grenada. Not that they need you for Grenada, okay? They can also let you play. Listen, that to me, there was only one decision to be made. Imagine if you don't allow that kid to play and you don't allow him to chase that dream. Why? So he could go march and he can go stand at a post and he can be in a sub for the next 6 months to a year or something like that? Is that what we need? We don't need that. We don't need Cameron Kinley in the armed services right now. And as long he has his commitment, so whenever his football ends, he goes back to it. It's not the end of the world. The Navy will still get the rest of his service time. Look, my dad served. He was in the Army. So I'm the son of a vet. I get it. I respect it immensely. But right now, there's no war going on. So this decision shouldn't be a big one, shouldn't be even an important one to be made. The important thing is to allow somebody to chase their dreams. That's the real important thing. And that's where I give the Navy a ton of credit. They're allowing that young man to go chase his dreams. God bless him for that, man. That's what it's all about right there. That to me is what, when I saw that, that's all we need right now. Do the good things in life. I mean, listen, the military does so much for us every single day. We get to enjoy the freedoms that we have, the powers that we have. I mean, we have countries all over this world that have maybe 1 or 2% of their population vaccinated. Meanwhile, we're close to 70%. We would have been way over 80 if the people that weren't, so against this thing went out and got vaccinated. We would have been at 85 or 90%. But we're close to normal because we have the power, the money, we have the resources to give our people everything that we need. We're blessed, man. And part of being an American is having the freedoms to go out and try to be whatever you want to be. And this kid wants to be an NFL player. And if he has the talent to stick with the Bucs, God bless him, man. We don't need another, dude in the Navy or the military. That we got plenty of those. And right now it's not like they're out there putting their lives on the line. It's not like we need them on the front line. I would understand that. It would suck for the guy, but I would understand if we were in a state of war and that they need you. That's, I get that one. But kudos at least to allow Cameron Kinley to go out and chase his dream. I found that to be incredibly classy. All right, remember, you can reach out to us on email, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com, Twitter @BigOShow. Follow us there as always. Support us at Cash App. It's Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. And Sean, thank you again for that enormous gift on Cash App. That was incredibly nice. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we're going to be back with our number 2. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. It's hour number 2. And we will get to a little Dolphins talk in just a minute here. Big O, yesterday you were talking about your favorite actors, actresses. My question is, what's your favorite sports movie? My favorite sports film is Hustler and The Cincinnati Kid. Favorite sports movie? God. It's a great question, man. I got to go with The Natural. I do love The Natural. I think that would be, yeah. I think it would be The Natural, or Field of Dreams too. I love Field of Dreams. It'll be a battle, and then of course, if I want to go on the lighter side of sports, then it's Bad News Bears and The Replacements. Okay, so it's like two different kinds of sports movies, right? The lighter side, and then like kind of the serious side of it. So I'll go with those. Although Major League also, I gotta put it right in there. That one's right there. So that's a pretty good one. Let's see. Eddie says it would be dumb from a recruiting marketing perspective now that they have another ambassador in the NFL promoting the Navy and showing their flexibility. Yeah. The next war won't be won with boots on the ground. It's going to be won by nerds in rooms surrounded by computers. Yeah, you're right. We'll still send some people out there, but yeah, you're right. Oh, sorry, I'm late. Nobody's ever late on this show. I was one of 4 people in the country actually watching the Tour de France. And where is Bill's Devo mask? It's there. It's up there. It's up there. Oh, you can't see it in the picture. But if you you can barely see Stanley Panther right behind the siren, and he's got the mask on. He does have it. It's there. It's there. It's there. Your Devo mask is there for sure. Your Rush lunchbox is there. What else did you give me? I know I had a couple of other things. Ray, I think Ray gave me the Mike. Ray, I think you gave me the Mike Schmidt, if I'm correct, right? Because Mike Schmidt is my favorite baseball player. Marino's my favorite Dolphin, as you can see there. So we got Marino like coming out and snapping the ball there and looking for a pass. This is when he went to the Hall of Fame. You see, class of 2005. So I bought it when I was there in Akron, or no, not Akron. And what is that? Where the hell is the Canton? So I got him sneaking out from the side of the Eiffel Tower, ready to fire. You know, Danny ready to fire away, baby. That's what it's all about. Oh, I wanted to, before I get to a little Dolphin note that I have, although it's a couple of things there with Tua that I want to get into, but tonight the NHL Stanley Cup continues. And there's an interesting storyline to all of this. Okay. You know me, that I love talking about our teams and local and kind of finding a twist to all of this stuff. Things that normal people don't talk about, things that hardcore sports fans talk about. And that's what we do on this show. So tonight on NBC, which they're on the Big Boy channel, by the way, nice job. The Canadians in Tampa Bay. And as you all know, Tampa Bay is leading 3-1. And we're all frustrated because Tampa Bay eliminated, obviously, our beloved Panthers. But did you know, and I think most of you know this, but you're not thinking about this right now because there's no reason for you to be thinking about it. Only a crazy man like myself thinks about things like this. But do you realize that there's never been a pro dynasty in the state of Florida? Yeah. Never been a pro dynasty in the state of Florida. University of Miami football. Yeah, that was a dynasty. But for me, a dynasty, you got to win 3 titles in a really short amount of time. At least 3 or more, obviously. The more you win, the bigger the dynasty. But you got to win 3, not 2. And you look at it, Tampa Bay, they won the title in 2004. Okay. So from when they won it in 2004 to when they won it last year in 2020, that's not included in a dynasty. Those are 2 completely different teams from that point to this point. But if they win this year and they are 1 win away from doing it, that's 2 in a row. So all of a sudden now next year, they have a shot. The Lightning will have a shot at becoming the first pro dynasty in the history of Florida. It's pretty amazing because you think about this, okay? The Rays, they have no pennants. I mean, they have 2 pennants. They have no titles in all of this. The Jags have no titles. The Magic have no titles. The Dolphins, they won 2 titles, right? But they didn't get that 3rd title. They lost that other one. So they were never a dynasty when it's all said and done. The Miami Heat, they got 2 titles in the LeBron era, 2 out of 4 years. And because you won it in 2006, that doesn't make you a dynasty at that point. It was 2 different teams. You're separated. Look, dynasties are the Patriots. 2001, 2003, 2004. You won it in 3 out of 4 years. It's kind of the same team. It's interesting with the Patriots. I don't know if you realize this. So they won it in 2001, 2003, and 2004. And then they didn't win it again until 2014. So it was 10 years in between titles. And then they won it in 14, 16, and 18. So they won it in a span of 5 years. That's a dynasty, 3 and 5. You look at what's it called? The Spurs. The Spurs won it in 99, but then they won it again in 2003, separated. But they won it in 2003, 2005, and 2007. So the fact that they won it in that stretch of 03, 05, and 07, that's a dynasty run right there. They won it again in 2014, but again, that's kind of separate. Now, they're kind of considered a dynasty because Tim Duncan was on all those teams. I get it, right? Ginobili and Parker weren't on that first championship. They were on the rest of those championships. But I get it. But really, 03, 05, 07 is those dynasty years for the Spurs. So that's 4 titles in 8 years or 3 titles in 5 years. 3 titles in 5 years, that makes you a dynasty. We've never done this in the state of Florida. I get it. Guys, I'm not talking about the Warriors and I'm not talking about the Chicago Bulls. I don't care about that. I'm talking about us in the state of Florida, okay? We can talk about all kinds of other dynasties in different sports and the Canadians and the Islanders and we can, the Yankees, and we can do all of that over the last 100 years. There's been other dynasties in other sports. I get all of that. I'm just talking about the state of Florida has never had any of their pro teams have a dynasty run. None. Nada. Nay. And so the Tampa Bay Lightning, with the win tonight, will make it 2 in a row. If they can find a way to win another title in the next year or two, they will become the first dynasty in Florida ever, because it's never happened before. No team has been able to capture more than 2 titles in the process. Even the Marlins won 2 titles, but it was over a 7-year period, because they won it in 97 and then they won it in 2003. That's not even included because it's 2 separated. And remember, as you all know, 2 different teams. I mean, what did they have in common? Jeff Conine? That's it. That's not part of a dynasty. It's one of those deals. And really, their best chance was the Miami Heat. It was that game, that series against Dallas. If they win that first championship and then they win the other 2, now you got your dynasty. If the Dolphins are able to win that first time to go to the Super Bowl, instead of only winning the second and the third time, they got their dynasty. That's the facts. But that's one thing that has never happened in the state of Florida. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, how many of you would have guessed that a hockey team in the state of Florida could be the first pro team to be a dynasty? A freaking hockey team. You would have thought it would have been the Dolphins or the Bucks or the Jags. First, you would have thought it would have been an NFL team. Marlins, maybe if, the late, great Wayne Huizenga doesn't break up the team and keeps it going and all that, who knows what happens down the line, because Dombrowski was on a roll in those days. You know what I mean? Although he's doing a nice job again with Boston. He'll do fine. Not worried about it. But that's one thing that I was thinking about again. I'm getting a little ahead of myself at this point in time, because obviously Tampa's got to win their second, but I think they're going to win their second. I mean, how many of you really think the Canadians are going to come back and win 3 in a row? They're going to win their second, and they're a hell of a franchise, and they're loaded already. They're going to be one of the favorites again next year. They're going to have an opportunity, and let me tell you, if they're able to win it again next year and they win 3 in a row, whoa, that's a kick-ass dynasty right there. 3 of 4 is impressive. 3 of 5 is awesome. But if you get 3 out of 3, that's going to be flat out nasty by Tampa Bay Lightning. So there you go. The Tampa Bay Lightning has a shot at becoming the first pro dynasty in Florida's history. How about that? All right. Reach out to us on email at Big O Radio Show @yahoo.com. You can also support us through Cash App, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. And more importantly, smash the hell out of that like button, man. That is so important that you smash the like button. All right, let's talk a little Tua. I promised you that we would talk a little Tua. And Tua was at a event. He was at a a charity event, and he was talking about several things. Okay, and this charity event, they asked him about playing with Jalen Waddle, and they asked him about certain things. And one of the things that he talked about is his return to football, and he had a very interesting but very boring answer.
It's been a journey, exactly what you said. It's been a journey, but I think it's been a really good journey. It's been a pretty impactful journey in my life, I'd say.
What and listen, that's a really lightweight comment. You know, Tua's not ever going to leave a lot of meat on the bone. But one of the things that I do love about this kid is that when he's talking about something like this, he's talking about it in a way where he can learn from it. And that's what, again, listen to it.
It's been a journey, exactly what you said. It's been a journey, but I think it's been a really good journey. It's been a pretty impactful journey in my life, I'd say.
When most people are, oh, woe is me, why me, this, that, feeling sorry for themselves. And there's a lot of people that way that unfortunately, when bad things happen to them, and it's going to happen to all of us, man, you sit back and you just whine and complain and point fingers and all that stuff. Hey, listen, when everything happened with Onside, I could just go roll up in a corner and just, whine and pout about it. But that's not who I am. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and try to blame people and try to get frustrated about it and all that. I'm super disappointed about it. It hurts me that I put a lot of work into it and it did not end up working out. But am I supposed to sit there and worry about it the entire time and let it just take over my life? Hell no, dude. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find a way to overcome. That's what I've always done all my life. And that's kind of what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And now we're doing the podcast, and I think the podcast is going to be stronger than it's ever been from here on out. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm hoping to do. Obviously, with all your help out there, we will accomplish that. And we're going to develop one hell of a local sports talk show with great guests, great insiders, exclusive insiders. So that way they have a show that they can always count on. You know what I mean? But what I love about this kid is that he's not going to allow any of these kind of setbacks, his ankle, you name it, the hip, it doesn't matter, the negativity that goes out there. He's not going to allow any of that crap to bring him down. He's going to look at it the same way I do. Okay, where am I at? All right, where do I got to get to? All right, let's go. Let's do it. And I love the positivity. I love how, and again, this also shows you that mentally and physically, the kid is tough as nails, because if you're able to come back from several injuries, and if you're able to come back in such a short amount of time and play in an NFL season, and by the way, do a pretty damn good job overall. Was he exceptional? Was he dominant? No, but he was pretty damn good overall. I love what I saw from Tua. So he talking a little bit about his return. And then here's the interesting one. So they asked him if he has spoken to Mac Jones.
I never had the opportunity to talk to Mac. I've been busy with our team. I know he's been really busy competing, with the guys at New England. If he ever wants to talk, I'm here. I think it's hard, with what he has going on, him having to study the playbook, with it being his first year as well. Now, I know the kind of perfectionist that he is. And so, I know he's going to be studying a lot.
So Tua, you got to understand this. Tua's he has a little bit of Dwayne Wade in him, right? He'll give you the smile. He's going to be a nice guy. He's going to be a decent human being. He's going to be a team player, all of those things. But when it comes to competition, well, once we get on the field, the court, the ice, whatever, the clay, whatever type of thing you're playing on, I'm going to cut your throat out, dude. I'm going to cut your heart out. I'm going to go for your jugular and cut your heart out, in other words. And Tua's that guy. And Dwayne Wade's that kind of guy. And remember, while they know each other, he hasn't really called them, because why? he's the enemy now. He plays for the Patriots. So in a way, Tua's like, yeah, he's my former teammate and I wish him the best, but I'm not going to call his ass right now. I'm not going to help him. He's that guy. Tua would never say that. He's going to take the high road. He's going to be the decent human being. He's going to be the pros pro, all that kind of stuff. But in a way, the way he said it.
I never had the opportunity to talk to Mac. I've been busy with our team. I know he's been really busy competing, with the guys at New England. If he ever wants to talk, I'm here. I think it's hard, with what he has going on, him having to study the playbook, with it being his first year as well. Now, I know the kind of perfectionist that he is. And so, I know he's going to be studying a lot.
It's not really, he can call me, but I know he's going to be busy studying the playbook. In a way, it's like, well, I know he's really busy, so he can't call me. So like, hey, don't call me. I don't need to help you right now. Yeah, we were teammates, but now we're not. Now we're pitted against each other. I love that part. Now, again, he's not going to say it. I'm just kind of reading between the lines, but it's not one of those things that you would figure that maybe there was a conversation between the two if he wasn't playing inside his own division. But the fact that he's playing for New England, you're Tua, you got to be cutthroat to a certain extent. You got to do what you got to do and what's best for you. And what's best for you is not to give Mac Jones any kind of tips right now. You see him, a year or two from now in some off-season get-together. Hey, how you doing? Oh, all right, great, whatever. But you don't want to help him right now because helping him hurts you. You know what I mean? Not that he's going to be able to answer anything in New England's playbook because that's not his playbook. But still, any kind of other tips, he kind of has to keep it away from Mac Jones because they're enemies now. I found that to be interesting. Tua talking a little bit about packed stadiums in the NFL.
I think that's going to be really cool. Never got to experience it in the NFL setting. I think it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, that's super bland, right? Super, but in a way, the one thing that I want to mention when they asked him about that, and he's in Tuscaloosa. What the hell's the difference between a packed Dolphin Stadium or Hard Rock Stadium and a packed Alabama Stadium? Alabama Stadium is like a pro stadium. I don't think there's much of a difference. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if Alabama Stadium is bigger than some of the stadiums in the NFL. I don't even know what the attendance is for Alabama, but it might even have more than Hard Rock Stadium. So for him, it'll be a thrill to be in a packed NFL stadium, but it won't be anything really special because he's already played in Alabama. We're not talking about a guy that played for the Akron Zips. Jason Taylor, sorry, I didn't mean it as a shot, but you know what I'm saying. They're not going to play with big crowds. Or somebody that played at FAU or FIU. I get that. Yeah. Compared to those stadiums, when you go to a packed NFL stadium, yeah, they don't play in packed stadiums. But Alabama, what the hell's the difference between a packed Alabama stadium and a packed NFL stadium? I don't think there's much of a difference. That's the beauty of also having this young man in the mix for the Dolphins. He's been in big games. He knows all about this. It's not like this is something that is new to him. Big moments, pressure. He's lived up to all of that kind of stuff. He's adjusted to all of that kind of stuff. That's also what I love about him, that everything that we want and we demand from him and all we're hoping for, and that, he becomes the next great quarterback here to follow in the steps of Marino and Greasy and all of that. He's going to be able to do all of that. He's going to be able to reach that pinnacle because he's not afraid of these kind of moments. So while he tells you, yeah, it's going to be great for packed stadiums, deep down inside, he's like, no big deal, dude. I've been playing in packed stadiums for several years now with Alabama. Two, I thought, now again, never going to get any kind of controversy from him, which, listen, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you got a quarterback that isn't going to, give that 2 a.m. phone call to his coach. Hey, coach, I got arrested. or a Trevor Bauer call. Oh, yeah, no, I beat her up, but she asked for it. She wanted rough sex, so I gave it to her. That's not going to be Tua either. You know what I mean? You're not going to see him involved in any of those criminal acts, ignorance, stupidity, whatever you want to label some of the things that go on sometimes with some of these athletes. And that's the beauty. This is a guy that's a pro's pro. He's not going to go small in the biggest moments. He's not going to go small when he sees a packed NFL stadium, when he goes to Buffalo and the place is packed and they're liquored up and all of that. He is going to be Mr. Calm through all of this. He just needs some experience. He just needs to adjust. And obviously he needs the right coaching staff and players around him. And that's what we're going to find out now if he has that combination this season. I'm one that feels he does have all the right things now. There's a little bit of a test with the offensive coordinators. That's the one unknown right now. You know, I kind of feel good about this line. I feel really good about the wide receivers and the tight ends. I really like what they've got. And I think they've got solid backs overall. But it's really all about those offensive coordinators now. Can those guys have a great feel for their offense and their players? And can they make the right calls down in and down out, quarter in, quarter out? Do they know how to finish a game in the fourth quarter? Do they understand their quarterback really well that they can set him up for success? These are the kind of things that I got to know out of the two coordinators. I know it can work. I don't doubt that. I'm not one of those people that is adverse to change. I'm all right with change, man. I understand life evolves and change evolves. And you're going to use a fax, and then you're going to use emails, and you're going to then advance to cell phones, and you're going to advance to text, and you're going to advance to whatever's next, right? And we're doing the internet, and the next thing is now the blockchain, right? There's an adjustment to everything in life. How we do things. You used to pay all your bills, right? You'd pay it with a literally a bill, a check, and a stamp. Now you send out very few checks, very few stamps because you're paying everything online. That's how you adjust. Everything in life, we evolve, right? So I'm not one of those that's against two offensive coordinators. In college, it happens a lot. It hasn't happened much in the pros. But then again, in the NFL, we didn't have a lot of college-type plays and offenses being run. In fact, it was blasphemous to see that kind of stuff happen. And now, as the years have evolved, college football has had more of an influence on the NFL now than the NFL is influencing college. Part of the change. So don't tell me that it's impossible and it can't work. A lot of things change. A lot of things evolve in life. We're going to go from regular currency to cryptocurrency. We're going to go from dollar bills to we're going to go to coins. And it's all going to be in your phone. And it's all going to be digital. And that's how we're going to be trading. And that's how we're going to be buying. That's the future. It's coming, whether you like it or not. You can be intimidated by it. You may not understand crypto, but you're going to be forced to learn about crypto one way or another, baby. By the way, SHIB swap started. Now let's see what happens. Notice, by the way, crypto's back on the upward trend in the process. Hope you guys are taking advantage of that dip. The dip, baby. That's what it's all about. The dip. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports and music? By the way, can't wait for Dolphins training camp. 14 public practices. They start at 10:10 a.m. What the hell's the 10:10? You know, ever since TNT started with the 7:05 first pitch with baseball, those bastards were the first ones to do that. They were the first ones that threw that curveball at us. And we're like, yo, what happened to 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock? Why is it 7:03 and 7:05 and 7:07? It's just like, just start at 10. What's the difference? But we evolve. Everything isn't going to start at zeros anymore now. It's got to start with some kind of a digit after, you know? So July 31st is the first day of those 14 public practices that we're all going to be a part of and have some fun out there, man. Thank you all out there for supporting the hell out of the show, by the way. We really appreciate it. What was I going to tell you? Oh, how about this? Congratulations to the boss, Bruce Springsteen. His daughter is an Olympic equestrian. She made the equestrian team. So obviously he's got to be a proud papa. And this is the same daughter that he has with Patty Scialfa. And she is the one that was in the E Street Band, for those of you that don't know. But I'll read you the story. His daughter, Jessica Springsteen, will be competing at the Tokyo Olympics on the U.S. equestrian team. The 29-year-old Springsteen is an absolute boss on the horse. She's currently ranked 27th in the world by the International Federation for Equestrian Sports. Her mom happens to be the singer-songwriter Patty Scialfa, and she will be competing in the show jumping competition later this month, which has been a lifelong goal. She says, been dreaming of this since I can remember. Jessica said of the selection, endless gratitude for my team, friends, family, for helping me make this a reality. And she will be accompanied by her 12-year-old horse, Don Juan Vaughn, who got a special shout out there. All right. So she says, there's no horse in the world I'd rather be on this journey with. Thank you, Don. You're my horse of a lifetime. It's amazing how we get hooked with animals, right? That's how we are with our dogs. They're like our sons and daughters and stuff. So Patty and Bruce obviously been married for a long time, and this is their daughter. And this is the interesting part. Jessica has a mom and a dad that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We all know Bruce Springsteen's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but back in 2014, the E Street Band, and well-deserved, got the honor of going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Patty, obviously, a part of the E Street Band since 1984, got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 2014. Now, while they met in the early 80s, Patty and Bruce, and knew each other, they didn't really get together till 88. And in 87, Patty, you know who she was going out with? She was going out with Tom Cruise. So Tom Cruise and Patty broke up, and then Patty then hooked up later on with Bruce Springsteen, and then the rest is history, and they've got their daughter. So just kind of an interesting story twist to it all, that the girl's going to the Olympics. Her parents both are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And before her mom hooked up with her dad, she was hooked up with Tom Cruise and all of this. It's crazy. Crazy, but kind of an interesting story out of all of it, right? At least I think it's an interesting story. Anyway, what else do we have going on that I wanted to talk? Oh, yes. I saw this story and I thought it was kind of, for those of you that like a little Kiss action, a little music, I thought this was kind of twisted, but very expected in a way. Kiss is going to retire, right? Eventually, once this end of the road tour ends, which is, has lasted like 17 years or something along those lines. So Kiss, for decades now, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley predicted that they would sell the brand to a conglomerate when the time comes to bow out. Both original members have regularly stated that they see a future for the organization after their retirement. In a recent interview with Vinyl Riders Music, the band's catalog consultant, Robert V. Conte, shared his thoughts. He says, every incarnation of Kiss is unique in its own way, and there are things I appreciate about all of them. As long as Gene and Paul remain with the group, I would rather Kiss continue in some form than stop altogether. However, don't be surprised if someday the brand is sold to some big conglomerate with those two deciding to retire. He added, Kiss should outlive those who kept the flame lit, so to speak. Just like Mickey Mouse and Batman, those iconic characters didn't stop after the retirement and or deaths of their creators. For better or worse, they evolved as necessary in order to remain relevant and interesting. So in a way, they're talking about something that's never happened before, technically. Actually, no, it has happened. I shouldn't say that. The Little River Band right now, the Little River Band lost their name, right? And Glenn Shorrock and all these guys wanted it back. But the bassist was the only guy that was legally entitled to the name. It's the guy that actually sings the song Night Owl. Okay, because remember, they have 3 different singers, and 4 different singers would sing with the harmonies and all that stuff on that band. Little River Band is one of the 10 best bands in the history of music when it comes to harmonies. Nothing else. I'm not talking about the music. I'm not talking about the accomplishments. I'm just talking about straight out harmonies. It's probably one of the 10 best I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, the Eagles are another one when it comes to music. But anyway, as I digress in all of this, so they right now have a group of people that are touring. When you see Little River Band, not one of them is the original member, and the bassist no longer tours with the band, but he controls the name and he controls all the money that they bring in. So whenever you go see that Little River Band, he's getting the money, okay, from that, and he's paying the people that are playing the parts. So that's what they're talking about with Kiss. They're talking about Kiss literally being bought by a group, and then that group goes and finds 4 people to play the parts of Kiss. And I got to tell you, this is where I am so grateful that I was able to see the original members in their heyday, in their peak, when they could still do it, all of those kind of things. You know what I mean? I am so grateful that I was able to experience it. The question I have for people out there, that if you're on the chat board, if you're listening on the podcast, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com, if you want to send me your questions, your comments on all this, more not questions. Do you think it could actually survive? That 4 people could take over and that they'd sell? I don't think they're going to sell out stadiums or arenas, but could they go someplace and pack 7,000 doing the Kiss show, and that people will go out to hear the music just to keep it alive and watch the show on a smaller basis, but still be productive? Do you think that could happen? Because I don't. Once Gene and Paul step down, I don't think it will ever carry, because it's just, it's not official. As long as you have Gene and Paul, you always feel official, even if you miss, obviously, the other guys, because we obviously miss Ace, and Peter Criss. You want to see those guys with them. But still, some of the other guys have done a good job over the years filling in and playing the part. Tommy Thayer does a nice job of playing, the part of Ace. Is he Ace? No, nobody's Ace. But Vinnie Vincent did a good job when he did it. You know what I mean? Kulik did a nice job also. So there are certain guys that have filled the role and have done a nice job overall. Can a band survive that way? Would younger people go see it because they wanted to see the experience of what a Kiss show was like? I just have a hard time believing that if somebody bought them out, that they could actually go find 4 actors, because basically that's what it's going to be. It's going to be 4 actors playing the role of Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter. And that, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. But then again, I saw the original. I've lived with the original forever, since I was a child, buying the 8-tracks and the albums of Kiss in the 70s. Seeing them in shows all the way from the very early 80s till now. You know what I mean? And once you get over that point, you're done. Look, I'll give you an example. Whitesnake announced its farewell tour now, and they put out some dates now. I got to tell you something. I already said farewell to Whitesnake. Why? Because As much as I'm a fan of David Coverdale, his voice is done. The last time I saw him, he was done. I don't need to go see Vince Neil anymore. Eddie Money, God bless him, rest in peace. But the last 2 tours that he came by, I didn't go anymore because he was done. Because the last time I saw him, his daughter had to carry him. And with Coverdale, it's kind of the same thing. It's the harmonies, the people in the background are kind of helping him now because he can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? But he's old already. He's in his 60s. It's hard to have that same screeching voice at this point in time. He's out of gas. But to me, it's like, yeah, I already did my farewell tour with you, dude. It's like Motley Crue. I don't want to go see Vince Neil. I don't know if some of you saw what he did about a month ago. It was he walked off the stage. He couldn't even finish, I think, a third of the set. He had to walk off stage because he has no voice already. The last time I saw him, it was terrible. Gets to a point where it's over. And to me, if Kiss is sold to a conglomerate and they've envisioned Kiss continuing, I don't know. I don't know. Am I crazy? Do you guys think they can continue? They could actually maintain it and people will go see them? Because I don't believe they will. I really don't. I don't think it can happen. Don't forget, you can support us through Cash App at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Let me see what we got right now in the chat board here. Rajan says, most of the Kiss fan base is older. I have my doubts that replacement players will draw crowds. I agree. I just don't think it'll happen. NorCal says there's enough Kiss fans to support small shows for years after, I think. I'm not a Kiss fan, but they have a huge following. No, there's a huge following. There's no doubt, NorCal, but I just don't see people going to, especially the older fans, NorCal, who have already lived the real deal. It's hard, man. It's hard. It kind of happens with Journey. Journey's done a really good job with Arnel Pineda, but you'll get people that are, oh, no, it's not Steve Perry. I won't see it. I don't want to go. And they won't even give it a chance. But I got to tell you something. If you go to a Journey concert nowadays and you go see Arnel Pineda and you tell me you did not enjoy that concert, I'm going to say you're lying because it's a good show. Is it? Of course, it's never going to be the same without Steve Perry. I get that. But Arnel does such a great job, and he is so close to what could be Steve Perry that it is a very enjoyable concert. And Sean just shreds. You know what I mean? And you still have the keyboardist. Now I'm brain farting with the keyboardist, former Babies guy. What's his damn name? And damn it. Somebody help me out with the damn keyboardist name. How come I can't? Well, anyway, but they're all there still. So you still have some of the guys that are heart and soul. You know what I mean? Kind of like off-Broadway productions that play in smaller cities with different cast members than the actors who win Tony Awards. Kiss off-Broadway versions playing in Ocala, Florida in 3,000-seat arenas. Man, I don't think it's going to work. 1986, I was backstage at a Kiss concert. Gene was banging a chick against the wall in full view. Hilarious. Not surprising, right? That's kind of the idea. Was he in makeup is the question. Because that's probably what that woman wanted. She wanted to get banged by them in makeup. I thought the Pink Floyd concert was a mega hit at the AAA. Pink Floyd? At the AAA? Huh? Pink Floyd? Or was it Roger Waters? Maybe Disney can do something with Kiss. They've bought everything else. LOL. Yes, Jonathan Kane. Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Put in Kane. And I remember Jonathan. There you go. GP Trap put John Kane. Thank you. Thank you. If you close your eyes, he sounds like Steve Perry. Kane is the keyboardist. Yes, he does. He sounds a lot like Perry. A ton. I go see that version of Journey and I've watched Journey with Steve Perry a couple times. I was blessed to see them a couple times. And I've seen this Journey several times. And I'll go see this Journey every single time. The next time they come to town, I'll be at that Journey concert. I think Arnel Pineda does an awesome, awesome job, man. Really impressed with that young man. And he's grown so much because he was terribly small on stage early on at the start of Journey because he hadn't opened up yet. He didn't have the same kind of confidence to dominate the stage. Now you watch him and he dominates the stage and the crowd and he he really gets into it and he's comfortable. He's comfortable in his skin. He's comfortable as the front man of the band. And I think a lot of us that have gone to Journey concerts, you end up liking him. And I got to tell you something. I've grown to appreciate Arnel. Do you know why? More than anything? Because Steve Perry doesn't want to do it. So if he doesn't want to give people the great memories of that band's amazing music and their catalog, and he doesn't want to be a part of something like that, then we have no choice but to turn the page, as Bob Seger would say, and move on. And I'm glad that we've got Arnel Pineda. I'm glad that they were the absolute freaks that they were, that they got lucky and they found this guy. Not every band can do that. INXS tried. Many bands have tried to find a replacement that's equal to what they had, and they never, ever get close. I mean, look, the guy for Foreigner, damn it, what's his name? Now I'm forgetting his damn name. Oh, God, what's the name of the guy from Foreigner? Oh, Jesus, forgot his name. Damn it. Kelly Hansen. Kelly Hansen does a really good job. Is he Lou Gramm? No. He has a little bit of characteristics at time to sound a little Lou Grammish, but he doesn't end up coming close enough to it like Arnel does. A lot of bands try and they can't find it. They have to then go in another direction like Van Halen did with Sammy Hagar, because you're not going to find another David Lee Roth. You're not going to find another David Lee Roth to do what he did on stage and sound like David Lee Roth. So they went with Hagar, and they ended up having even more success commercially because their songs were more commercial at that time. And that allowed them to sell even more records than they did in the first version of it. Not that it's better, because for me, Van Halen is always better with David Lee Roth. I love the Van Hagar. I got nothing against the Van Hagar. That stuff grew on me over the years, and I really enjoy it. But I'll always take Van Halen with David Lee Roth as my favorite version of Van Halen. There's no doubt about it. But I just can't see that working out, that you just replace these guys and all of a sudden it works. I just can't see that. I really can't. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Nikhil Henry wants to get traded from the New England Patriots. It's interesting because I saw that story on Nikhil Henry wanting to get traded. And the one thing that stood out to me about Nikhil Henry getting traded was his salary. At first, I was like, well, this guy's a first-round bust. It'll never happen. Nobody will trade for him. So I started doing a little, homework here in the process. And first of all, Dolphin fans, no, don't trade for him, okay? They don't need Nikhil Henry. Not that the Patriots are going to trade him inside the division. Anyway, even though he's been a bust and he may not turn into anything, even though he was highly touted, man, when it's all said and done, I mean, he was supposed to be like the kid in Seattle. That's what a lot of people thought he would be, that kind of a beast. And it just has not really translated, whether it's attitude, whether it's a lack of commitment. I don't know what it is and what his problem is. And no, Dolphin fans, they don't need to trade him. They're loaded in their wide receiving room. But this career underachiever now has to deal with Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne that they also signed. They signed Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. But here's the catch. His salary this year is $1.4 million, which is nothing. Next year, it's $1.9 million. So you control him. So technically, if you feel you can actually turn him into a receiver, because there's always a coach going, I can coach him, I can make him better, I can make him reach his potential, all that kind of crap. Coaches do that all the time. And so there's going to be some coach, some front office executive that fell in love with the kid during the draft, and now don't judge him by that. Let's bring him in. The salary cap hit is nothing. It's garbage. So anybody that trades for him, you're going to give up a late round pick in the process. So you're not going to give up a high pick, and you're not really taking up salary cap space. I can see somebody taking a shot at this kid, unless they know something we don't behind the scenes, that he's had some real issues behind the scenes. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of quiet over there in New England. But when I saw that, I go, oh, wow, that's, nobody's going to want this guy. But then I saw his salary, and then you look at the physical talent of the kid, and because it's so tough in New England to make it as a wide receiver, maybe, just maybe, somebody takes a chance on him just because of the raw ability that young man has. And the salary is nothing that is going to hurt you cap-wise. Because if he doesn't make it this year, you cut him and you don't even have to worry about the last year, and you lost a fifth, a sixth, a seventh round pick, whatever it is. Maybe it's one of those conditional picks that, okay, it's a 6th rounder, but if he doesn't make the roster, it's a 7th rounder. If he plays 60% of the snaps, it becomes a 5th rounder. One of those conditional type of picks. I could see something like that for Nikhil Henry. And let me tell you, man, boy, Bill Belichick sucks at wide receivers. Holy crap. That guy sucks at drafting receivers. He is one of the worst personnel dudes when it comes to wide receivers. All right, this is a consistent thing with him when it comes to his draft picks and his wide receivers. He is as consistent as it gets, being that weak with the wide receivers. So Nikhil Henry, we'll see if he ends up getting traded when it's all said and done. Let's see, what else do we have here? You saw what happened yesterday in Tampa? I mean, it's not funny. I'm not trying to, whatever. I'm not trying to make fun of the basketball fans that are there. I don't even know how many Bucks fans and Suns fans are there. But the Tampa Bay NBC affiliate yesterday chose to go to hurricane or tropical storm Elsa coverage instead of showing. So they moved it to their My 33, whatever it is over there. I don't know what channel it is in Tampa, but they moved it out. Can you imagine the people that have regular TV and they just go to NBC and then they don't figure it out? You know what I mean? They're frustrated for whatever, 10, 20 minutes, a half hour, an hour later, and then they find out, oh, I had to go to the other channel. But the NBC affiliate chose not to air the NBA Finals yesterday and go with tropical storm coverage, which I'm kind of torn on that one. Like, it's a tropical storm, dude. It's 60, 70 miles an hour, maybe a category, I don't know if is it a category 1 hurricane already at this point? I haven't even checked today, because once it's obviously missing us, I didn't worry that much about it anymore, but I think it is. But it's crazy that they went to hurricane coverage when they'll have plenty of time for that. And couldn't they do the hurricane coverage on their My 33? Couldn't they put a scroll like what we have right here? You see the scroll there? Couldn't they just put a scroll? If you're looking for Hurricane Elsa coverage, go to our sister station, whatever it is over there, My 33. Then couldn't you do it the other way? You know what I mean? That's so you're probably going to get more viewers still maybe they don't get good ratings over there. Matt says, I think Elsa is a level 1. That's screwed up. Steve says, Kiss is the most overrated band of all time. No hit songs. How can you say that, dude? I Was Made for Loving You was a hit song. Detroit Rock City is a song that is like, it's a generational song. You know what I mean? They've got several songs. Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, that's a song that everybody knows, man. That's like that's another song that is transcending. You know, if you Lick It Up was in the charts. I don't know how high the song charted, but I can look it up for you. You can't say they didn't have any hits, man. Let me see here. Lick It Up, Kiss. Okay? So here you go. Lick It Up, 1983, 11th studio album. Lick It Up, where we at? Give me the album information. Where are we at here? I know it hit the charts. Let me see here. Here we go. Singles. Lick It Up made it to 66 in the US Billboard charts, 32 in Canada, 24 in Switzerland, 31 in the UK. So it made it in the top 100. That's a hit. Doesn't have to be top 10 to be a hit. It's not too bad. People know a lot of those songs, man. Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City. I mean, I Was Made for Loving You. Those are all songs, man. I get it. If you don't like them, that's cool. But it's a transcending band. And remember, they haven't had hits in years. You know? Yeah, Raging goes, Rock and Roll All Night is a rock anthem. Hell yeah. Play some Kiss. So I can't play any music, John. YouTube shuts your ass down, bro. And then they block your video. If you put any kind of music, because it's just all licensed. So YouTube is really, really picky about that. Anytime we play like a little something, we've learned that over time now that we've been doing this, we can't play anything that's licensed at all. So when you hear everything that we were playing, none of it is ever licensed or like it's our own theme song or whatever, which obviously YouTube can't shut that down because that's our theme song. But outside of that, I can't play any of that. If I play a little bit of a Kiss tune, the whole video gets blocked and it won't be downloaded. Sucks. Oh, I found Troy Vincent's rookie card. I had it as a kid. He was one of my favorites. Any insight as to why the Finns didn't want to lock him up long term? Well, I mean, when he went to Philly, I forgot what the whole deal was behind all of that. Man, that was so long ago. I don't remember anymore. Hell of a player, man. Hell of a player. I still remember him blowing out his knee as a returner and Shula taking all that heat. Oh, I listen to music all the time in YouTube, not blocked. Yeah, you can listen to it, but I can't play it as a show. Yes, I listen to music all the time also on YouTube. I'm checking out concerts all the time on YouTube. But on this show, when you're recording a show on YouTube, you cannot play regular music. If you do that, YouTube finds it and shuts you down like right away. Like before the show is done, they're already sending me a violation because it picks it up. Whatever we're talking, saying, playing, whatever, they must have some kind of a sensor that picks up anything and everything that's being played. And then if it's anything that's licensed, you then get the warning of, hey, your video's been blocked because you played this licensed whatever. And then they have the exact time when you played it. They have the exact, you can go right when they have you play it, you can hit play, and right there you find out exactly where you violated their rules. So that's why I can't play any music whatsoever that's licensed. And we won't, because we need to monetize this show as much as possible. Hell, I'm trying to get somebody to cut up the video side of all of this because we cut up the audio. We have only been placing the whole show. I need to slice this show up on the video side too now. That's the next thing. I need some help with all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is it's all a mission as we build this thing up. Love Troy in Philadelphia. Well, then you must. I can't love him in Philadelphia because I can't love Philadelphia. So just I can't do it, GP Trap. I wish him the best when he was in Philly and everywhere else, but I don't want him here. That's for sure. I don't want him here. You know, I mean, I don't want to root for the Phils, for the Eagles. I can't. Even if they have him, I don't want them to have any kind of success. All right, we are going to wrap it up here on the show. Folks, please don't forget to hit the hell out of that like button. We really need it, as always. We appreciate all of you out there. Sean, thank you, sir, for your Cash App donation. That is very nice of you. Weapons X United also came in strong with a super chat. Appreciate all of you out there, as always. And remember, just like Sean Campbell did, you can support us at Cash App at Cash Big O Show anytime. Cash Big O Show. You can send your support there. We always appreciate that. So we thank you, Sean Campbell. We thank you, Weapons X United, for a little super chat action. That is very kind of all of you out there. We will see you tomorrow. Working on some guests tomorrow. We'll have some guests. We'll talk about all kinds of things going on in the world of sports. We appreciate it all. We appreciate everything out there. And thank you all. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.